Hey, welcome to Family and Friends and Alumni here at Fullerton College. That's right. The old theater's behind me. Many of us have played there. Many of my friends out here watching today, or people that don't even know me, have come through that theater to see numerous productions staged by Todd Glenn, Gary Krinke, Bob Jensen, Tom Blank, Arch, Jimmy Henderson in the old days, lots of people. And we all have stories to talk about. And guess what? We're moving on to a new theater. This theater eventually is going to go away. The memories don't go away. We'll all talk about the old days because, well, when you get to be my age, what else do you talk about? But the old days, how good it used to be. Hey, I can remember when we used sandbags. Hey, a counterweight system. Now what do? How do we focus lights? It's all different. So when you look at today, it's not about us going backwards. It's about us going forwards. New productions, new theater students that are looking to work their way in their career to the next level, like all of us did, all of us wanted to do. I was lucky to be here in the 60s, and I was also here in the 80s. I worked with a group of men that were outrageous. I had Mela as a costumer. Donna Rizzica was here in my old days. And if you look at behind me, the front doors, well, if you end up going to the box office, you might be talking to Pat because she would be there. Bob Jensen's here tonight. Gary Krinke's here tonight. People that have ranged the last 40 years of theater are here tonight for this reception. Not to sit here and to be all remorseful and to be sad and down in the dumps because the old theater is going to go away eventually. No, to talk about what theater is. And theater, no matter what the production is, no matter if we're going back and we're doing Romeo and Juliet, or if we're doing something modern today, it's always brand new for everybody here at Fullerton College. So we want to welcome you tonight. We're going to have Bob and Gary talk about what the future will look like at this theater. And maybe before everybody walks in and says goodnight to Corey Nalen and Tyler and myself, well, they might get an opportunity to get on camera and tell us some old stories. So I'm going to try and find some more people. Corey might switch around a few times on the camera, but that's why we're here tonight, to celebrate tomorrow. To talk about yesterday and laugh about it, but celebrate tomorrow is what we're talking about tonight. It's tomorrow, the new theater across the street. The possibility of great young stars getting to work in a facility that nobody else would ever think we'd ever have here. State of the art. And that's what we're going to have here at Fullerton College. And that's what this conversation will be about. And you know what? I think I'm going to go try and find Bob Jensen and talk to him before everything starts. So I'm going to put my microphone down. Let me go right back and let me get Bob and or Gary. Well, welcome back. I told you I was going to get somebody, and I brought back one of the hosts, the gentleman to my right, Bob Jensen, along with Gary Cranky. You two are hosting tonight. And Bob, I've already talked about this is a celebration for tomorrow. We can talk about the past, and we can all laugh and tell stories and try to forget some things, but it's really not what tonight is about. Tonight is state-of-the-art theater across the way and new young artists getting opportunities to grow with where theater's going.
I think one of the things we want to do is challenge the alumni to think about how do we mark the end of the old. His legacy is important. We have great stories that we've shared with each other. And how we mark the future. Are we interested in helping the current students, the young alumni? Are there things that we can do based on our life experience, our life in entertainment industry or elsewhere that can just be an encouragement to these kids that have come out of the pandemic, probably shell-shocked by so many things and trying to figure out how do I make a life in the arts? How do I make a life in general? So I'm hoping out of tonight we can do some vision casting. I really do. I hope that can come. And if at the end of the night the decision is just to enjoy seeing each other, that's okay too.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got a flamethrower on my back and I want to sort of take it off and hand the mini torches to other people who feel motivated to do something. But it is so hard for me to move through the crowd because everyone I see I want to talk to. And people out there that for the live stream, we send our love to you and we'll be in touch. We'll tell you what comes of tonight because we don't know. That's what's exciting.
Yeah, well, Bob, I got to do your retirement here at Fullerton, and we talked about a young Bob Jensen to where you and I are now in the world. And theater, yeah, we know theater is theater, but theater technically has changed. And I think it's only fair that the young people that come here at Fullerton College, like they have in the past, got to work with great instructors, great educators, but also need to be able to work with the new equipment of the day. And I think it's only fair to the people that have come to all your productions that they get to walk into a theater and a new facility and go, wow, when they walk in there. And that's really what we're looking at for tomorrow.
We are. No question about it. And you want the facilities to match the expectations about the future. And I think it's really exciting. I'm excited that the theater department is being led by great people, that the division is being led by Dean Linzel. I think is tremendous. We have a new president here. There's just a lot of opportunity, and I hope some of the alumni sees an opportunity here to participate with us. And we're also growing the scholarship fund. That's been heartwarming for me to see people contribute to that. And we want to tell those stories. But I think the most thing is about looking to the future. You're right, and I hope that happens tonight. That's my dream for it.
Yeah, and you and Gary later on tonight, we're going to be streaming this also, are going to tell us about the future here at Fullerton College, what it may look like and what it might bring to those youngsters like we all were at one time when we walk in here and say, oh, wow. And I'm not going to, you know what, I've got to say about all the educators. I've met educators through the years. I was talking about Arch because the first time I ever came here.
George Archambault.
Yeah, he was here. I got Jimmy Henderson was part of the theater group here when I came here. Then I met what we call our group, everybody that got to be with you and Todd and Gary and Tom and Mela and Donna Rizika and everybody else that came through here. We look at that time as our time, and it's something you brought up the other day. Everybody's got their own times here at Fullerton College, and it's time, like for all of us, not to say the old should step aside, but the old should make a lot of room for the young. And That's what you and Gary will be talking about in a little while.
I just feel like I'm at a point in my life now where I feel so richly blessed by everything that's happened and my own family and the love that I enjoy there and having grandkids. All of that is just truly marvelous, but it's time for the next generation and what we can do to love on them if they're open to receive it, that's truly what it's about. I'm at a stage in life where I just want to be an encouragement to others. And I want to do that with a team of people, like-minded people.
Well, we're going to let Bob get out of the way because, like he said, he's seen so many familiar faces, and they all want him for 30 minutes, and he's got maybe 35 seconds for everybody. So we're going to let you get back to the group, and then we'll see you inside when you and Gary talk about tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bob Jensen.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're actually, Michael just said, are we in a good spot? I need to let Michael know. We're actually talent. We're not technicians, so
good.
we're shooting the gun right here.
All right, great.
Michael
Love
Mueller, I was just on the air with Bob Jensen. We were talking about the instructors I had. Michael is one of the, I'm going to say, new staff
Absolutely.
here
I'm new.
on campus.
Yeah.
And you do combat. I know
do.
that's stage combat. What else do you teach in the theater department?
So I'm the head of acting, the acting and performance area, and I teach movement, voice, intro to theater, and help to also sort of run the theater Hislit Crit area as well.
Okay, so Michael, this whole night, and Bob and I have already talked about it. We've talked about it for, used to be head of Prop J. Across the street, the new facility is about the future for theater in a variety of different ways. It's going to give young people like we were at one time the opportunity to go to a theater that's going to have new toys to play with.
That's right.
Excellent instructors like yourself, educators that are going to teach you to do things. Well, I'm not going to say the right way because I think every performer needs to find their own way, so I apologize for that.
I totally agree with you. I don't think there is a right way. It's just your way.
It's your way. But it's people like Michael. So, Michael, you're going to be the generation I had when I came here, that we're all going to know for the next 45 years and say, oh, this is what they did for us, the group you're with now. What does a new facility across the street mean to someone like you?
Well, the new facility gives us, as you said, the opportunity to sort of upgrade to make sure that all of the technology that we have stays on par with where the industry is. And being down the street from Disney and all these theme parks and down the way from all the studios, having those technological advances is really important. So that's one thing. The other thing is that it also increases our visibility. Right now, where we're located, it's sort of off of the main strip, and the marquee is a little smaller type of thing, so it's harder to sort of get the generate the buzz that I think that the new facility across the way will do, much like the bridge that kind of goes over that sort of announces that this is Fullerton College. We're going to have a nice showplace that's right on the corner that everybody will be able to see.
And we can't forget that it is an educational facility and it only runs by having students come there. And let's be very realistic. The young people like to see the young shiny button and what it does and want to know what sort of toys they get to play with. So it should help this department that used to be stacked with individuals.
Yes.
And at the current time, because of our situations financially, are not, should bring in enrollment once again, and once again get the name of Fullerton College, which has always been known and synonymous with great theater, which it still is today, but get people in here to see the great theater you and your students do.
I agree with you. Absolutely.
You know, I like Michael, just a yes man. This is sort of really nice. Yeah. Why are you here at Fullerton College, though? I mean, besides being an instructor and it was a place to go, there's got to be a reason why you came here.
Well, when I first interviewed here, I just loved the environment. I loved the people, the people that I interviewed with, but also the student body. It was just so vibrant and alive. And to be perfectly honest, having taught around the country and internationally, I do more here in terms of the curriculum than I was ever able to do at a four-year institution. And so we have a lot of students that come back from four-year institutions just to take classes in the CTE programs and get that additional certificate because they're just not offered everywhere.
And before I let you go, because I know I'm not going to get to talk to all of them, could you tell me about the people you work with?
I love the people I work with. I mean, everybody from the administration all the way down through the colleagues and all the students. Our adjuncts are top-notch. They're working professionals in the industry. It's hard for the full-time faculty to maintain an active presence in the industry because we're so busy here teaching so many classes and running things, but our adjuncts really keep us alive in terms of the keeping on the pulse of the industry, and they're just fantastic, and they're just inspiring students left and right.
And you're doing 9 to 5 right now.
We are.
You've got a version of Romeo and Juliet coming up, set in the late 80s?
1970s, so we're keeping the 70s theme this semester.
You know what? That's my age, so that works for us right here. So, Michael, I'm going to let you go because I know you have people to talk to.
Thank you.
If you really want to know anything about the theater program, and I know Michael's a busy man, stop by the theater department. Say, hey, Michael, do you have 10 minutes? Do you have 5 minutes? I'd love to talk to you about what I can do as an alumni here at Fullerton College. Why aren't you doing this show or that show? They're going to answer your questions, and you may not like the answer. They might like to just say because nobody does those shows anymore, but you'll still have that communication. And if you really care about Fullerton College, you need to meet people like Michael and everybody he works with to understand where the future of tomorrow is here at Fullerton College.
Thank you so much. Yes, please stop in at any time.
Michael Mueller here at Fullerton College. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely. Our friend that was the bartender You just sit up here with
I haven't done that in a while. I mean, that feels really good. So here's the thing, and I'm sorry, we got to change our plans. I know you're all flexible, but the bus the cast was on made a wrong turn, and they're out in the desert. And so Gary's going to take about 15 of you. The fly crew somehow lifted themselves off the stage floor and they're hanging from the grid. So we're going to send some technicians to help them. And the orchestra got into an accident with a door, and so the harpist can't play tonight. So we're going to have auditions for the harp in the band room in a few minutes. So just stand by. Magic fingers. It's just so crazy.
The show must go on.
What I do want to say is, at the risk of being too sentimental, how my heart is full of joy just to see all your faces, all of you that are here. And if there's anybody I don't know, well, let's get to know each other. I mean, I really mean that. So I've been on campus so much that I think the new dean wish I hadn't proposed this idea, but we'll meet him in a moment. And I figured this week, you know, I've got all these old hats. Maybe I should go over to the bookstore and buy a new hat, because that's who I am. And because this is a solar panel for a very active mind, you know, and every once in a while I got to shut it down. But what amazed me when I bought the hat was that the name of the hat is Legacy. This is what I was thinking about all week, and the hat I bought was Legacy. I thought, wow, that's pretty cool, because that's really why a lot of us have entered the room tonight. It's about legacy, and legacy gets played out in lots of different ways with each other in terms of the quality of the relationships, the quality of the productions. My heart always was warm most when I would overhear alumni arguing with each other about who had the best era when they were here. And when I've told this story, usually the recipient of the story turns to me and says, but it was our group, right? We were the best. And don't we want every student to feel that? Don't we want the current students to feel that what's going on, that there's a synergy and there's an excellence and there's a knuckleheadness, you know, knuckleheads, that you just look back and say, that is a sweet time, and I don't want to rush this sweet time at all. So legacy, I think, is really important. And looking at all of you, I see all the shows, the characters, the makeup, the flymen, I think of the guys in Dracula who got so into flying the bats that they actually staged their own rehearsals unbeknownst to us, so they could fly bats across the stage. You know, they were kind of out of control in that time. But I'm really here not just about legacy, as important as that may be to me, because legacy is something that evaporates at some point. I think of Esther Hatch, who one of our scholarships is named after. 1928 to 1955, she ran the theater program at Fullerton College. Do we know that? Most of us don't know that story. It's kind of like a Dead Poet Society moment in front of the glass case as we look at the photos. She started with a drama club, and then she created the curriculum that made the first theater classes here. And in one of her shows was a young woman who was putting her brothers through USC because her mom had died, and she really felt she needed to take care of her brothers. And she was working part-time, taking classes here, and then she found the drama club. She was in the lead in 3 shows, and she loved theater so much and loved her brother so much, they finally told her, you have to go to USC. We're going to put you through USC. And they did. And then she decided to do some more community theater because the bug had bitten her. And so at the Whittier Community Playhouse, she met her future husband, and that allowed her to become the first lady of the United States. And say whatever you might say about her husband, no one ever said anything bad about Pat Nixon. Think about it. Look back. She traveled the world. She was an ambassador for this country, and she was in a theater class. She was in a theater production here. So there are stories, I think, that are worth telling, but I think tonight is really about vision casting. As I want you to meet the exciting young faculty that are here now and hear some of their dreams. And I want you to meet the new dean who, we had Ken Helvey, Terry Blackley, Bob Jensen, John Tabay. We also had an interim who was a dynamic young woman during that interim time. But this one's going to be the best one. This one's going to be the best one. That's not easy for me to say. And you're going to meet him in just a moment. And I think this vision casting is all about, we want to invite you through this night. I don't know if we have the cards or not for them, do we? The cards?
They're outside.
Can we get
so
the cards?
Make sure we come to the table. Yeah.
Get the cards. We're going to pass these out, and if an idea hits you, if the light bulb goes off and you think of something that we're talking about that you think is a better idea, we all know about creativity, more than one right answer, and it just keeps percolating. If you got ideas, write them down and give them to us, and then we'll get back to you. And Gary's going to share ideas. David Pecoraro is going to share some ideas. But far more important to us is us asking you, what do you think? What if? What if we do these different kinds of things? And life is precious. Time is precious. You may, at the end of tonight, say, I just want to get together once in a while and see these crazy people. You know, that's all I need. Others may say, I want to do more. I want to be more invested here. That's up to you. That's really up to you, and no one's going to be upset if you have no margins. That's okay. But when I think of how well connected all of you are, how you've built a life of value and significance, don't we want to share that with the kids that are here now, if they're open to receive it? Don't we want to kind of do what we can to support these young people that are trying to do the best that they can? Figure out what you can do and do it like Hercules, right? That's what Stella Adler said. Figure it out, do it like Hercules. So we want to be there for that. So these are the cards we're going to pass around. We'll just pass them down the aisles. And if you have an idea, let us know what that idea is. And pass some cards out. We have other cards as well. People can come in. There's still seats if you're outside. That's fine. Let me tell you why I like this Dean of Fine Arts. First, he's a musician, and I think anyone who makes music is a magician. I'm sorry, it's magic. It's pure magic. And he's been in marching bands, University of Michigan, imagine that, national championship. He's in the band. He actually paid attention to the game, not just the making of music. I like him because he's been an advocate for the arts. He's gone up to Sacramento. He's written grants. He's raised $500,000 in a distance ed program at the college where he was before us. I won't mention it because that's competitive. I just want to say he's at Fullerton College now. He's got a doctorate in music. He's got dreams for the future. And he's a humble man. But what I like most about him, in his resume, he worked at REI. That's the Toy Story of my life. And he's an ultra marathoner, and he runs like the wind. So if you try to catch up with him, make sure you have good gear on when you're trying to run with him. But I'd like you to meet the newest and who I think is going to be the best, Dean of Fine Arts. This is Grant Linzel.
Nothing like setting unrealistic expectations. Thank you, Bob. You are not here to hear me talk about myself, really. I think you're here to live in this world of memory, right? And of working together and being with people that you were at this amazing place with. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about me or where I came from or what I did. If you want to know me, you can. Come by to a show. Come find me. I always sit in the back row, usually audience left in the corner, so I can run away if I have to. Right at the end, I don't have to talk to anybody. But if you want to come and say hi, please do that. So my name's Grant. Hello. I do have a theater background that is... we don't talk about it a lot because it was kind of a dark period in my life, but...
You ran lights, didn't you?
That's cute. That's good. Dark period. That's I do have enough of a background to know that the worst job in the theater is operating the follow spot. Because if you do it perfectly, nobody knows that you're alive. But you mess up once and everybody goes... No, but so I actually started my undergraduate experience at the University of Michigan in their musical theater program, and I found out really quickly that I think I got in because there weren't enough men that auditioned that year, and that I actually, when I was a high school student, I really loved my friends that were in theater. I loved the people that were there, and I loved the relationships that I had with these people, but I didn't love the theater enough to dedicate my life to it. So I was really fortunate that I was at an institution that was large and varied and diverse enough that I could switch my major and not have to start over again. And I think this is an opportunity that we afford a lot of our students here at a place like Fullerton College. Because you come here for theater. You come here for accounting. You come here for our crime scene investigator certificate. This is a real thing. There's an apartment, it's not a real apartment, but it looks like an apartment on campus, that there's a sign on the door that says, "Don't call the police, this is fake." So you never know. Like you come to a campus like this and you have this diversity of experiences, and maybe we have a student who really thinks that they're going to be an engineer, and then they end up taking a class that it totally changes the trajectory of their entire life. And that's the work that we're here to support. And I think that's why you are here today to an event. That's why you come back to something like this. So I'm not going to talk any more about me. I want to talk about what is going to happen next, though. And I want to talk a little bit about the new building and what's going to happen with this really, really beautiful recital hall that you're currently sitting in. I know that hearts are broken when you take a gander at our beautiful terracotta-colored steps for some reason. Tape that's been on the floor since the Nixon administration. But I want to talk a little bit about the new space and why the college and the district is moving ahead in the way that they are. Because we're coming up to what's going to be a demolition of this space and of that building. We're going to lose these buildings. So why was that the case? Why did that happen? So I want to talk a little bit about why those decisions were made and kind of how we had to. So the state gives us money. Once in a great while, not enough. They give us money to build new buildings in really one of three ways. One, you're opening a brand new program and you know that you're going to have a lot of enrollment, so you are able to make a case to the state that says this thing is going to be awesome, we need a new space, and they say, cool, here's $11 billion, and then you build a building. That never happens. All of the 116 California community colleges, I think expansion buildings have accounted for less than 10% of the spending from the state in the last decade. So we're not getting a brand new building. So there are two other ways to have a building done. One is we have a renovation retrofit. And these buildings that we're in right now are great candidates for that. So the state says, okay, how many square feet do you have? And this is the term that they use, what's the assignable square footage? So what is every single office square foot, every broom closet, the makeup room that isn't anywhere near big enough, our costuming room that should be 3 times the size? They say, how many square feet do you have? We're going to replicate that for you, and we'll give you money to do that. So we say, that's not enough, but $60 million, we'll take that. Thank you. Thank you. So that's a replacement process, the renovation. So they will look at this and they'll say, okay, all of these spaces, we're going to take it down to the studs, we're going to renovate it, it's going to be awesome, but you have to use it exactly like you're using it right now. Fine. The other option is replacement. And what replacement looks like is the rest of the process is the same. They look at how many assignable square feet you have, what the programs are, what are going to be resident in those spaces, and they say, we're going to split. Let's go halvesies on a building with you. But it has to basically be a direct replacement. So the district, the college, is going to get about $58 million from the state to complete this project. And the only way that we could really get that money is a replacement. Because when the state did a quality assessment of the structure, I am not from California, but I've participated in the Great Shakeout many times now, thank you very much. And I will say, if there is a really strong table that you're close to, if you're in the 11 or 1300 building, if there's an earthquake, you should do it. You should just do it. You should do it. We're not in any imminent danger, or so I've been told. So, the logistical cost with us renovating these buildings it's insurmountable. And what I mean by that is we'd have to find swing space for all these great programs. Where does the orchestra rehearse when we're rebuilding this room? In a portable trailer? So the only choice for us to get this huge state money is a replacement. But you should see it. It's phenomenal. And I came in not at the conclusion of this process, but a lot has already been done. So this is a rendering, and actually this is pretty close, I think. The paint colors are going to be the same. It's actually going to match our WPA era campus. Instead of our Yeah, it's the 60s, it's fine, it's square. Just put it there. It'll look good. Square is cool. You know what we need? We need aluminum shutters that completely cover windows that spiders can get through but sunlight can't. So this is, I think, a pretty accurate rendering of what the space is going to look like. I know you can't see these. It's too small. But this is part of the packet that we submitted to the state architect. Part of this process is we have to submit a gigantic document to the state architect. Ours was just over 11,000 pages. I'm not exaggerating. It's 11,000 pages of drawing. Like, the kinds of things you can argue about in these discussions. We had a 2.5-hour meeting about the hardware that goes on exit doors. Should it be something you push, or something you turn, or something you pull? So it's a very complicated process. So we submitted all this, and I just want to show you, I know this is not a super high resolution image. If you would like to see these, I'm happy to share. They're actually a matter of public record now because they've been submitted, and more importantly, approved by the state architect. But yeah, indeed, this is exciting. So this is the first floor of the new building, and one of the things that was really important to the design team is to try to maintain a lot of the flow of the space. So we've got main stage here, and then like black box theater, like right there. We have recital hall right here too, and there's one giant lobby that's going to service all of the spaces. So you'll be able to come in and like move through the space, move through the box office that can service everything, and you don't have to run around the building trying to figure out where the heck to buy it. That's working great. Poor Ryan in there all by himself. And we're finally modernizing systems, so we're not going to be pulling thousands and thousands of feet of low voltage copper to try to make all of the electrical systems work, which is where we are now. In my office right now, which actually is a good place if the earthquake happens because it's a nuclear fallout shelter, really. So in the music building here in the center, I have a telecommunications cable behind my desk, and I am not exaggerating. It is 2.5 inches in diameter, and it has like 45,000 individual strands of telephony in it. It's wild. So we're not pulling that stuff. Everything is going to be current as of when we purchase the instruments. So this is a phenomenal opportunity for the college, and I'm just really excited to see this happen. So when? The question is when. We've already started. Now we haven't done a big groundbreaking because a lot of the work has been pre-work and has been quiet. But in the area across the street, if anybody had gone through the sculpture program or has done anything in our bronze foundry, yes, we have a bronze foundry. We're the only community college in the state of California, one of the only in the country that has an active bronze foundry for our sculpture program. We're actually replacing all of the electrical and utility there, which will manage the HVAC, all of the electrical coming in. So we've started this project. We'll probably have an official groundbreaking, I can't commit to it, but soon. Exactly when. And I want to manage expectations right, because I don't want to say, oh, it's going to be in July, and then have it be in August, and then people be disappointed. Because the board has approved the budget for this, they've approved the plans for this, and I know that this is happening, because I went to a North Orange County Community College District Board meeting about 6 months ago, where they voted to purchase $500,000 of structural steel. So the district has already invested in the project. It's going ahead. So this isn't a wild time. It's a wild and exciting time. So we're talking about building and stuff, but I think you want to talk to some people that maybe you know, and not just me. So can I introduce our theater department coordinator? This is Zach Harless. A lot of you know Zach.
Tough act to follow sometimes. Hi everybody. So I actually know probably about half of you, I think, or you hopefully know me. My name is Zachary Harless. Bob kind of mentioned to talk about some of the history here, everybody. I'm kind of for that history, I guess. I first started foot in this building in what would be 1994. That's a nice way. Part of the CYA. If anybody actually remembers CYA back in the day, we remember CYA. Yes, I was one of the students back in the day. Ryan Patterson was a fall spot on it. Then I came back for theater festivals, back, and that's when I met Steve Pliska, who's hiding over there. As who sat down with this horrible sophomore of high school trying to figure out how to do a light plot who didn't have a technical teacher. This is before the days of the internet for the older ones here, right? So I couldn't figure out how to do a light plot, and I did a horrible light plot, and Steve sat down for me for like an hour telling me how to do all these paperwork. And I kept going here, everybody. I kept coming in this direction. I got into this college.
Tell them where we met.
Where did we meet?
Campus
Theater lobby. Yeah.
Great place to talk about light plot.
Oh, exactly.
In there to go over light plot.
Yes. But that really kind of pulled me in, everybody. So that's where it kind of started, everyone. Steve got me into this, and then I came here into college, started up here. Within 6 months, I got hired in the campus theater because I was one of those people too. Yes, campus theater crew. I see you out there. Yes, but I kept moving forward in my 5 years to get out of here. But continued to move forward here, everybody. And it kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. And Steve kind of helped push me along that way, along with a whole pile of friends who I could see here tonight, which is awesome. Moved on to Cal Poly, kept working here. Things changed. I could no longer do my 403 hours, my longest month here in hours. Got hired here as a, professional expert. Got hired here as an adjunct faculty for a while, as a master electrician and production manager. Moved into a full-time staff position when I took over for Joel Howden. So you might remember Joel Howden from the past as well. So I was working alongside Ed Huber for a while, and then eventually a position opened up that was perfect for me. So I came on the faculty. So I've been faculty ever since, everybody. It's been, I don't know, what are we at now, Michael? Like 7 years? 6, 7 years? So it's been a while. Got my tenure now, and then Kevin gave me the glorious job of becoming coordinator. Thank you, Kevin. But I've been here ever since, everybody. So when I talk about history here, there's a lot of history here for me as well. I mean, I've been here for over 20 years kind of working. I didn't meet my wife here, but I worked with my wife here, so that's kind of a fun one too. So my wife still comes through. And she still works here. She still works for PE, designing their lights. So it's kind of a fun memory for me, everybody. And so it's kind of why we talk about this history of this building, and that's really important to me as well, because there's a lot of memories I have in this building. And I think my name's around a few places. Those campus theater people remember this. No, it's not around anyway. But I'm going to introduce some of our other faculty as well, and I think the next one I have to introduce is Michael.
Hi, everybody. So, unlike my colleagues, I'm the outsider. I did not go here. I have only worked here. I'm originally from the East Coast, Midwest, Cleveland, Ohio. I've traveled around the country teaching at various four-year institutions and internationally teaching acting, fight choreographing. But I have to say that every time people ask me, they're like, why did you choose Fullerton College? How did you find Fullerton College? It's like, it's pretty easy because when I interviewed here, not only are the faculty, the people that I interviewed with, so amazing, and the students were so just vivacious in their passion for this, but also this college, for a two-year college, does more than any four-year institution I've ever been at. It is seriously impressive, and I tell people that around the country too when they're like, I'm not sure, community college. I was like, oh, you have no idea. This is a very high-functioning two-year college that does more in 2 years than you can do in 4. So I'm very blessed to be here. I'm very fortunate to be here, and I want to meet each one of you, and I want to thank each one of you for coming out tonight, because as somebody who's new, I love meeting new people, but I have no history here. So when I hear all of your stories, it just lights me up, because I love hearing about where it has been, but also the potential in the future and where things are going. So am I going back to you?
Can.
Sure. I'll go back to you then. So hopefully I'll get a chance to chat with you a little bit more. Yeah, yeah.
It's all good.
Okay, great. So.
I think it's kind of the big thing, but just so you know, so Michael's also our head of stage combat. We have a huge stage combat program here. Huge. More weapons here than anywhere else. We have an armory. Get that through, everybody. Props, yeah. Prop armory. But as you can tell, everybody, the big push here with all our faculty, keep seeing them come up and down, is that we're still pushing these students. The impact of Fullerton College is still here. It's all about our students. It's about our students taking charge. That's the big part here. So with that, I gotta bring up Candace next. Come on, Candace.
Hello. I don't know most of you, but I know some of you. My memories are of SRO being here. Good year, thank you. So it will be kind of sad to lose these steps that I had to fake fall down drunk every night. But thank you guys so much for coming. I hope most of you are staying to see 9 to 5, which has been a labor of love. The students here are phenomenal. Like, they are getting training that not only gets them prepared for going to a 4-year university, but also if they decide just to go out and audition in the world. And with people like Zach, you know, I've worked as a stage manager outside as well. I'm kind of a jack of all trades, where I love doing all the things. And everybody tells me to stop doing all the things, but I never will. I have some students, old students here. Sophia, my assistant director, has been such a saving grace in this process. I also head up the directing and acting for camera programs. So we are very fortunate to be able to work with theater operations in getting cameras that are 4K, and so we utilize those in a multicam experience. There's a lot of good things, and as we transfer into the new space, there are going to be more studio spaces for us to actually work with. And so I think it's a great experience for all of us to be a part of this next generation as we move into, you know, the unknown. I won't sing it. But thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight, and feel free to say hi and talk to me. I'm going to introduce who am I introducing, Michael?
You can do Kevin.
Kevin!
Thank you folks for being here. A little bit about myself. I started teaching at Cypress College in 2007. A dear friend of mine who I went to school with called me up and said, she was a department chair at Cypress College, and said, Kevin, do you want to come teach a stagecraft class for me? And I said, I have a successful career, full-time job, doing theater on the side. Why would I want to go teach a class? And yet I thought about it, and I went and taught a class at Cypress College, and I stayed there for a few years, a part-time instructor. I was fortunate enough in 2009 to be invited by my dear friends Gary and Bob and Mela and Steve and Chuck to interview for a full-time job here at Fullerton College. And fortunately, I was granted that full-time job teaching production and design. I wake up every single day and just know and thank everyone around me and my students and my peers and my friends and my colleagues that I have the best job in the world. I absolutely love what I do. It's not lip service. Not lip service at all. I do this because I want to do this. And I did this after a successful career, 10-year career in public service. And so you go from public service and then to education, and what a difference. I'll share just a quick story with you, and some of my colleagues may know this story. But I used to administer the High School Theater Festival. Some of you may be familiar with that. And the High School Theater Festival, essentially, it's a kind of fun and games between high schools that come through all over Southern California. And it's 2 days of just craziness as administrators and my colleagues and I were just running around just crazy. And as I'm managing students and the volunteers and so forth, there was a young girl that came up to me and said, "Can you help me?" And I was out on the campus, I don't know what I was doing, running around, being a custodian or something, who knows. But she came up to me, she said, can you help me? And I said, sure, what can I do for you? And I thought she was saying, I'm looking for room 312, where is that? And she said, I'm interested in coming to Fullerton College. And I said, oh, excellent. And she said, I want to be on Broadway. And I said, oh my gosh, well that's great. You need to talk to my colleague that teaches musical theater, but he's not available, he's running around. And she said, can you please just help me? So I said, I definitely will. So I kind of just backed away, and we sat down on a bench out here in the quad. And I said, how can I help you? And she said, I don't really know what to do. All I know is I want to come here, and I want to be successful, and I want to go to Broadway. And I said, well, I can't help you with that pathway to Broadway, but I can help you with a pathway through Fullerton College. This student, her name is Maggie, and this was 6 years ago. She is now the lead in this show that you're about to see tonight. That student, it was not easy for her. It was not easy. She was faced with many challenges, like all of our students, or I should say all, but many of our students do. Most of our students do. Post-pandemic, socioeconomic challenges. How do you get to school? Zach and I and Michael and Candace, we feel like we're life coaches, and we're not. I'm not a life coach. I teach production and design. I teach, what you can do with a piece of lumber and a piece of steel and how to, draw an orthographic projection. I don't teach life skills. And yet that's what we are faced with these days. These students they come from some really tough backgrounds, not all of them, but it's a challenge. Just getting to class is a challenge. So anyway, that was just a quick story that I thought I'd share with you. It's just kind of warms my heart to speak about that. So
Maggie and 100 students like her is the reason that the theater festival should continue going forward.
I'll tell you, next weekend, all of us, we're doing a technical theater festival. So we're inviting...
The acting theater festival should continue for Maggie and 100 students like her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Kevin, did you go to school here ever?
I wasn't going to go there, Bob, but...
We're trying to take credit for you, and you're not giving us a chance.
I did go to school here, but I won't tell you the year. It was a long time ago. So and I went. Oh, come on. Yes. So I did go to school here and had a wonderful time as a student, and then went on to Cal State Fullerton, and then out in the world. So but yes. So I do go way back. But my time is here and this serving the students of today. So thank you.
So we want to take just a moment or two to talk a little bit about what happens next here in these buildings. Folks have cards there. If you have any suggestions about ways that we can honor these spaces, or ways that you as alumni and friends of the program want to interface with these spaces again while they're still here. I have a real strong pull to places that I've performed and I've worked. So I feel that really deeply, and talking about having these buildings disappear can be hard. And I want to try to find a way that we can spend the right time here, doing it in a way that lets people explore and remember. Speaking of remembering, so this is 1962. So if you recognize the vantage point, this is toward the auditorium at Fullerton Union High School, and this is the foundation of the theater building and the building that we're in right now. It's kind of fun. Now, you'll notice in these older photos, there's a lot of smog. So, we're talking about Nixon. Thank you, EPA. Some of you might recognize these individuals. I know Todd Glenn sitting there with his legs crossed. This is like in where the theater arts offices are right now. And facing the 300 building. This was opening night for the first show, The Death of a Salesman. So this is just a candid photo through the lobby. And the thing that I'm so taken by at a place like this, obviously we have history. The oldest continuously operating community college in the state of California, one of the oldest in the country. And you have a huge history in these spaces. But we're going to take the same photo again when the new building opens. And it's going to start another chapter over for us. And that, thinking about that has such a profound emotional impact for me. So if we could spend just a little bit of time thinking about what happens next. I have some ideas, but if you have things that you think would be good for us to do with or for these spaces before they close, it would be great if you shared them with us. You can write them on a card. You can get in touch with folks that you know that work here, and they can communicate them with me. So we're going to have a fairly large-scale send-off of these spaces. So I think, Gary, did you want to chat a little bit about this? Is that? Okay. You know. Apparently you all know Gary Crinkle.
So Bob called. You know, I looked at the phone and I thought, choices, here I have choices. And my wife said, who is it? And I said, it's Bob Jensen. And she said, don't. Don't, you'll get roped into something. And so we chatted, and so here I am. And I'm here to lead, with Alan Moon's direction, really, a dream team to put together the events coming up that are going to lead us to this new building. I had a dream about a program for high school kids. It's called SRO. Some of you. And then, unfortunately, I didn't quit dreaming. Then I dreamt about a high school theater festival. And we brought that together, as well as a directing program that enjoyed many wonderful shows. And by chance, and I don't know that anybody is supposed to know this, so maybe we want to turn the camera off, we also hosted a number of weddings in our building. Didn't tell anybody, but they were great students who had wonderful dreams. And I thought, if there's anything I could do, well, let's just have a wedding, yes? So that's as far as this has gotten, because the phone call came just late last week. I'm not going to take any more of your time other than to say, if you want to dream with us about the new time ahead and what we can give these kids, please take time to fill out that little card that you got and tell me, hey, I'll meet you at Mulberry Street and let's think about this. Yeah? There's lots of ways to dream, and that's one of the best. It's just wonderful to see all of you tonight and to see the fact that very soon some of you are going to look like this. Just stay with Fullerton and it will happen. Thank you, Bob, for the invitation, and Bob, thank you for once again organizing a whole bunch of people to get together and celebrate what we have really loved.
That's the first photo that I could find of a performance in the space. This is Brigadoon, I think. I think it's Brigadoon.
So one of the thrills for me is to meet people who were here before I was here. Okay. And so David Pecoraro is part of that regime that we saw pictures of. And David has a great heart for reaching out to young people and really helping them pilot their careers. This is alumnus David Pecoraro.
Hey.
Thank you, Bob. This is the first time I've stood up in front of a bunch of people since pre-pandemic. Welcome to a brainstorming session about how you can help theater students, how all of you can help theater students. So, like myself and my wife who are here tonight, who were once students here, we're remembering what it was like to be a student here. I can't walk on this campus and not remember, wow, it was terrifying on day one, but it all seemed to work out. But I also ask you to think about what it's like, what it was like for you at that point, what it's like for students who don't know, remembering what it's like not to know. So on the next slide, we have why. You know, why, and the topic's about sharing your experience, knowledge, and connections, which you all have a wealth of. And the key here really to this slide is the question mark. And the question mark, if you will, represents maybe some of the question marks that are in all the students' minds that are here now. I love doing theater, but can I earn a living at this? Right? Everyone who loves and cares about me is worried about me. And I'm worried too. I know it's not just what I know, but who I know, but how do I get to know the right people? Am I good enough? What if? What if? What's my plan B going to be? Have any of you ever been the recipient of help which benefited you in a very significant way? Oh my goodness, almost everybody. I went through the whole educational system, went off to the East Coast, got a degree, came back, and I thought, well, I need to get a job in theater, right? I don't really know how to go about doing that. But I hear Long Beach State is looking for a prop person. Oh, that must be the only thing like around, so I will go there. So I knew how to do a resume, and I go to Long Beach State, and I met the department secretary, Helen. I said, Helen, I'm here to apply for this job. It said, show up and come into this department. And she reads my resume. She's just like silent. She looks through the whole thing. And then she did something that I'll never forget. She took the resume in her hand and she slammed it down on the desk. Bam! She said, why don't they teach you anything about how to find a job after they teach you what to do, what you love to do? I'm like, terrified, right? She said, do you have a car? I said, yes, I came here on a car, right? She said, do you know where Mission Viejo is? I said, no, but I've heard of it. It sounds right. She said, you get in that car right now, you drive your ass down to Saddleback College, you apply for their job as production manager and adjunct professor, and you get that job. And I did. And I'm grateful to this day that she slammed my resume down on the desk and yelled at me and told me to get my butt in the car and get down there. The other side of this is if you helped someone with their career pursuits, which benefited them in a significant way. Yay, you are amazing people. This past December, my wife and I, who's sitting right over here, who we met here, were at sitting on Main Street, Disneyland, getting ready for the candlelight first Christmas story show. And I thought, wow, the lighting design is really good here tonight. The candlelights are good, the Christmas tree's beautiful. It is gorgeous lighting. And then I remembered that a student I had been mentoring for quite a while got a job at Disneyland. So I sent him a text. I said, Garrett, I'm sitting here on Main Street and the lighting for this show is beautiful. Did you have anything to do with it? About 2 minutes go by, and he says, yes, you are watching my work tonight, Professor. Right? So that was an early Christmas present in like so many ways. It was just this wonderful moment that I was able to experience. And next we have an opportunity for anybody here to share on those things that you have written out, but also vocalized, ways in which you think you and others like you, and those of you watching in Streamland, can help current students and recent graduates. Any ideas about how all of that can become a reality?
Well, we really want you to think about that. We don't really have time for a long discussion about it, but those cards represent the answer to David's questions, if that's what they say.
A mentoring program.
That's great.
For kids either about to graduate or who have graduated, who can work with somebody in their field who has graduated from here before and offer some help. That would get people like, your problem, that would sort that out. They would tell people, here's how you get a job in this, or here's how you conduct yourselves to get rehired. this is how this works.
Thank
I think that will be as valuable as a whole year of school after this.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes.
When I was going here towards the end, one of the great students here, Brian Kojak, and a group of his friends, we started Stages. And it was a conduit for students leaving Fullerton College to move on to a more professional theater where they could keep growing as actors, writers, directors. And if there was some way to make a new Stages, which we lost during the pandemic, so that there was a place to go and keep going even after you finished your time at Fullerton College. It was an amazing experience for all of us who were in Stages.
Well, all of you who are interested in this, please express your interest, pass it along, fill it out, and make yourself available. Make it known. That woman at Long Beach State, she spent 2 minutes with me. She changed my life. It was great. Thank you all. I ask Ray to come on up now.
Thank you so much. I know Fullerton College is a 2-year college, but it was an 11-year college for me. So I had trouble leaving. It was horrible. But I will say this: walking into the theater department and sitting in Bob Jensen's class changed my life. Literally changed my life. I started at Fullerton College as an older student, a divorced mother of 4, and walking into his class changed my life. I learned so much, not about theater, but about life. And I carried that with me. And I also worked at Stages Theater, which was great. It was a great program, still going on. They are still working, and they still love theater. So I'm going to bank off of what David shared, that we want to continue programs for students. And having the opportunity to invite them, mentor them, that's a great idea. Bob and I have talked a great deal about that. So if you're part of the Facebook page, please, you can add ideas there. We also have a LinkedIn page. And we want you to participate. So if you have ideas, please share them. Bob and I will be working more, and this is a great event that we've done every year, and we hope it continues. But I want to thank you all for being here, and enjoy the show. Oh, I'm sorry. I needed to introduce... I'm so bad. I messed up my lines. I'd like to introduce the executive director, the interim executive director of the Fullerton College... Friends of Fullerton College Foundation, Janeth Menaheras. Did I say it correctly?
I am definitely a little stage fright. I see a lot of great talent. I don't have a theater arts background. I'm definitely an English literature writer. I feel like I'm blushing right now. And I had a dream to actually be a playwright. But ended up doing salsa dancing, and now the interim executive director of our Friends of Fullerton Foundation, and just kind of piggyback on the sentiment that was shared before with a lot of great building making and new opportunities for our students in our college. I will say that I have my goddaughter, her name is Alyssa Aguilar, and she went to Santa Ana High School, and she's now a Fullerton college student in our program, the theater arts program, because she loves performing. And so that is also dear to my heart. And my goal is to make sure that we continue to support each other and our students in their dreams. That kind of what was mentioned before, like to encourage the students and say there are great opportunities and financial freedom to do what they want to do, whether it's performing, whether it's writing a book, or whether it's being an accountant. So we're all here for them, and I know you are too. So please stop by. I'm in building 200, room 225. And I know there's a lot of great scholarship opportunities. Hopefully we'll continue to have the legacy to support our students through fundraising events. And just having Bob as part of our board of directors has also been a blessing to us. So thank you for allowing me to be here and blush a little bit with you guys.
The last thing I want you to ever think is that I'm coming at you for your money. Yet look what's behind me. we've lost people. You know, we've lost people close to our hearts recently. And that's ongoing. Life is precious. And I don't ever want to hear that somebody was in trouble and I didn't know about it. That's what I'm interested in foremost. And then I want these scholarships behind us to help kids. That's what I want to see happen. I want the encouragement that comes from them. If you're in a place where you can help us, great. If you're not, that's fine. I want relationship with you. I want it to be ongoing relationship with the department. And I want to support and encourage the dean, the faculty that are here. I want them to know we're behind them. And if you decide, based on all the things we've talked about, you have no margins, you're too busy right now, that's okay. There's always opportunity in the future. And if you have ideas, these cards are really, or communicate with me however you want to, say, I got an idea. We want to take those ideas, put a dream team together and figure out what we can do, and then do it like Hercules. I mean, that's kind of our plan. And that's what we want to have happen. But if all you would like to do is just get together with each other from time to time, we can do that too. That's okay. I mean, we just want this to be positive for you. Denzel Washington said, it's not what you've accomplished in life. It's really not. It's about what you give back and what you give to each other. And for some of us, that may be a sick spouse. It may be a larger footprint. It might be a small project. It might be something that's really exciting that we'd all like to learn about. So let's keep telling our stories to each other. Let's keep loving on each other. Let's be open to each other. And I don't ever want to hear that you were in trouble and you didn't call me or you didn't get in trouble with me. No. I want to get in trouble with you is what I meant to say. So thanks for everybody that's a part of what we're talking about so far. Take the cards with you, write to me, whatever you'd like to do. The bar is still open, there's still food. Make sure you get your theater tickets so you can go in and see 9 to 5 tonight and just enjoy the feeling of this night. And one person last year said to me, you know, it was nice to be there, but no one knew me. Nobody knew me. So make sure you say hi to somebody you don't know also, that everybody feels welcome. I love you guys. Thanks for coming. Go out and start the party again.
There's something to do every week. Now it's been mixed in with musical theater class, so now we're trying to do scene study plus other things. And it's,
I started in '76, so early '80s, mid-'80s, but it was like
It's great for the students. Maggie's on the
Working it.
being an accompanist, a hired gun for whatever high school, being a judge, and I've been don't have 85 other things. So there's no focus. There's no ensemble on Friday afternoon. There's none of that. There's none of that where everybody in the department becomes this cohesive unit. And we're working on 4 different projects at once, and we're going to do them all at once. There's none of that anymore. So, and that's and I can't.
It's the synergy that has to create itself.
There was some other fat balding guy. I know when you're like this, I'm like, I was like this when I was attending here, man. You know, and my brother still lets me know about it.
And then while I was still working at 5, I was here and I'm hoping
Ryan just turned 60.
And now, like, there were some
I'm 50.
I'm only 54. He's at home, babysitting the cats. Yeah. I'll tell him who his dad is. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all that you do.
It's the beard. It's the beard.
Amberly.
I have lumber in my car from Ryan's place. Lumber. I'm a lumber tipper.
That's right. Lumber.
I walked in and I'm like,
That's awesome.
I'm like, okay, that's why. Kevin's still good. I'm still good. Right there, 87 to 89. So you and I were right? You're second. Appreciate it.
I've never my brother will retire. My brother was here 82 to 88. And all of 88, he did a semester abroad with Gary as the faculty advisor. Gary and I just happened to be stationed like 30 minutes on the other side of the French border, and I lived off base, so they spent It's worth it. Either way, you gotta do it. That's awesome. I know. Well, yes, I miss you longer than 2 years, but I still want to take it in.
Oh my God! Yes, of course. My God. Yes. Yes. I know. Yes. Such a great day.
But,
So he's doing a big drill and ACs and some So are you like
people do it.
I mean, you have to follow her. So I did the first year. And now but we are going to college together.
Exciting. Plus,
It's real.
Not if I have any say.
That's why
All right. Send me the link to how do I do that. So that's 2 weeks. 2 weeks so far.
Their kids did our walkthrough programs See, I like he makes such a difference. He said like the 2 minutes, like it's they come up and do their part, but they feel
I would want to work there.
you can sit in front of the webcam. I feel the love. I get like the customer really good stuff, like somebody's like, you should be giving sugar. He just watches a Daisy program. That's why no kidding. Don't even get me started. I'm like, what do you guys want to do for a birthday party? I mean, okay, that's your business, but like, you're not going to tell the person who's what's your birthday It's also my red dye. Sure. Red dye is the problem.
If I find the Sure. But okay, we can do that. A birthday. It's not gonna. Oh, I just like that.
Everybody's like, I don't send the other professors as a teacher. Like we're such different, like he handles the babies, and so he takes the first year and I take the second year. So I think the newest one, right? So and he's very about lifting and helping them get there, and I'm like, you'll get over it. Like we figure it out, go to the fire, but I don't. It doesn't make sense. Things were like getting better, and then the pandemic hit. It's just that's why Bill went into the coordinating position. So now I'm in charge of all the training for the teachers. It's rewarding in many ways, but I'm so I was just wondering. I was trying to get the big picture. So and I don't really know what. So it's really hard because I don't. He's a very honest person, and I ask questions I don't want to be asked, and yet I don't like ruffling feathers either. So I get like, you know, if I was okay with ruffling feathers, because I get sensitive. This is really
I did like a jaw drop, and I was like, oh, we can't even have her She was like, well, what about the concern? And I was like, I guess it doesn't. And then I moved on. After that, I was like, all right, there's still competition.
Well, that's just even within a department. Now, at school as a whole, oh my God. So, I'm the director of the president. I was under the vice president for the first couple of years. So, and now I'm in academic senate, so we're trying to get rid of my chancellor. Yeah. And the stuff he says trickles down. So faculty should lots of money. It's just not good.